The Vermont Department of Public Safety has launched a new initiative called SurviVermont. It's a program designed to inform and educate residents about steps and actions they can take if they find themselves in a situation where there's an active shooter or a violent threat. In the wake of several recent mass shooting events in places like Buffalo, New York, Uvalde, Texas, and Highland Park, Illinois, violent active shooter events have once again taken on a higher profile. On Wednesday, August 3rd, state police and other state officials made a stop at the Arlington Memorial High School, one of the several they are making across the state during the month of August, to give a 90-minute-long presentation about what to do if you find yourself in a situation you weren't expecting and certainly didn't want to be in. There was also a presentation on emergency first aid techniques to administer if necessary before a rescue squad or other first responders can get to where you are. The three-part program broke down into Say Something, Run, Hide, Fight, and Stop the Bleed. Sonny Erickson, the Grants Program Manager of the Department of Public Safety, described the program.
So SurviVermont is federally funded through a Department of Justice grant that we received a couple of years ago. It needed to be postponed due to the COVID pandemic, but now we are back up and running. It's a community caretaking program that combines three federal programs, and we partnered with Vermont State Police and HAZMAT to deliver those programs in geographically diverse areas throughout the state to just try to spread awareness and this community mindset of how to respond to a number of scenarios. We use the example of active shooter, but this is applicable to anything that could, range from car accidents to an injury in the woods while hiking. So we are traveling throughout the state and offering these training events for people just to have some tools in their toolbox to respond to these types of emergencies.
Lieutenant Hugh O'Donnell of the Vermont State Police led the presentation, running the audience through several scenarios about what to do if you find yourself in the wrong place at the wrong time.
First thing we want you to do, if you can, is leave. Leave the area, leave the building, go move away from whatever it is that's occurring. When we talk about run, if suddenly something occurred in this room right now, I don't want you to go to your car. Parking lot can also be a very dangerous place. And also there's first responders coming into that parking lot, probably at a very rapid rate. So if I'm now running through the parking lot and there's a whole bunch of cars coming flying in, it's just not safe. Get to the woods. Get to where you can't see the building anymore. You'll eventually be able to get back, but run away. We don't want is I'm just going after this bush that's just off the building. No, keep going, keep going.
Harry Fell, a hazmat technician with the state of Vermont, also described some emergency first aid steps anyone can learn and administer, which could be critical in stabilizing a situation before the first responders arrive.
Are you going to have a commercially made tourniquet with you? No. We will look at some commercially made tourniquets, but I'll show you how you can affect bleeding control using pressure or using a homemade tourniquet. It's not difficult. You don't need a lot of equipment for it. It's just understanding the concept, okay? Step one, you're going to try a simple press, okay? Apply pressure with your hands, okay? It's not just placing your hand over the wound site where the bleeding is coming from. You're going to put pressure on it. Make sure you're controlling the bleeding as best you can. Put the weight of your body on that if you can, okay?
Afterwards, we had a chance to talk further with Lieutenant O'Donnell.
What's the most important or first thing that someone ought to do if they come upon an emergency situation like an active shooter or something else that maybe involved a person being hurt?
They need to protect them. They need to put themselves first. Like the first thing they should be thinking about is how can I help myself?
You mentioned also kind of being aware of people who might be going through a mental health crisis or showing some signs of just not being kind of quote-unquote normal. I mean, what what do you recommend people should do if they're encountering a person like that, like at the supermarket or they're with somebody wherever? I mean, is it the first step should be to try and calm them down in some way, or
We
should
recommend
they-
just move away. Just move away from the incident. If some of these could possibly become violent, and your safety is at risk, you should just move away from that. Especially because you just don't know what that person is going through, how they're going to react with you if you start stepping in and trying to engage them.
A little preparedness and advanced knowledge can sometimes go a long way towards saving lives when the unexpected happens. There will be several more trainings held around the state for the rest of the month of August. You can visit the Vermont Emergency Management website at the Department of Public Safety for more information. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.